Hey y'all and namaste. Welcome back. I recently read Elon Musk's biography by Sir Walter Isaacson, and it's an absolutely amazing deep dive into how we can learn how he's built all of these amazing companies. I believe he's been $5 billion companies. And today I am launching a new series on this channel where I share all of my favorite books on how they can help you become a better restaurateur, investor, hotelier. In this episode, we are going to go over 10 lessons that can help us become better entrepreneurs and serve people better. Let's go. Welcome to Chai and Cabins, where we talk all things entrepreneurship, short-term rentals, real estate, and business. My name is Rashmi, like don't rush me, and it's my pleasure to welcome you onto this podcast. Lesson number 1, you do not need to make straight A's or let a shitty childhood dictate your life. Your curiosity will take you everywhere in life. My mentor actually has a saying where by 6th grade, all of your imagination is basically like being out of us. We are not creative as adults and we follow in this set of parameters. Elon Musk has a meeting basically every week about how he's going to colonize Mars. And he has this passion and this belief and just this insane world he lives in where he's like, life in Mars is gonna be like this, I'm gonna do this and this, and like he just lives in this bubble. Now, for us real estate investors, for us the hoteliers, we need to live in a world where we can serve our guests better. So how do we create that experience? How do they feel when they walk into the place? A lot of people struggle with buying their first property because it's a huge leap to make kind of like the 0 to 1 concept. And what I tell most people is think about how you are going to feel down to the exact moment. How is the carpet beneath your feet going to feel? How is the air around you? Do you have a Facebook post that you've written up that goes, today I bought my first property? How's it going to feel when you post that? You've got to internalize how you feel and the imagination. And Elon Musk does such a good job with all of his companies on how he imagines this world is going to be for him on Mars, but for us on Earth, and how can we make that better? Tip number 2, PhDs are overrated, you guys. Action over everything. You've heard so many podcasts, you've listened to all the books, you've watched all the videos. None of it matters if you are not taking consistent action. It took me a couple of offers to find my first deal where I actually made the offer and it worked out, but I didn't stop after my second offer got rejected and go, well, I'm never going to buy real estate. You have to keep going because the repetition is going to make a difference. It doesn't matter if you went to Harvard or if you went to State Community College. In this country, anyone can make it when they take action and focus in. Rule number 3, the revolution comes once, whether it's the war or the internet. Strike it while it is there and always say yes to opportunities. So in 2020, when interest rates were at 2 and 3% and people were buying homes like crazy, short-term rentals, and people were like, the crash is coming and this is going to happen and this is going to happen, I bought a lot of real estate between 2020 and 21 and then kind of waited for 2022, 2023, like I couldn't find deals because I'd taken up those opportunities. I'd bought in markets that still perform really well for us. We bought in markets that did really well for us and still continue to do because we bought looking at data from 2008, 2010. We looked at pre-COVID numbers, but used the value that was here. Now we're moving more into boutique hotels. The goal was always to keep growing because the revolution for boutique hotels is here. A lot of sellers are looking to retire. They're not making their numbers. We can come in with better systems. We can come in with better management. We come in with better marketing. We're on social. So we're taking all of these things that are working and implementing them in industries that need a revolution. So be a part of the revolution. Find those opportunities. If you want something, this is tip number 4. When you want something, pick up the phone and call. Meet with interesting people, have conversations. I've mentioned this a lot before. I hang out on real estate Twitter. I love being very active on it. If you ever want to connect with me, drop me a comment. I usually try to get back to all of my comments. But Get into people's DMs. Like, I message people that I find really interesting and I tell them, hey, I really loved your story. I'd love to connect. Do you have 15 minutes to jump on a call? Want to hear more about your life? Can I serve you better? Are you looking to do something? And I learned from them. There's so many people with so many cool stories, and Twitter is the global network that you can be a part of. But learn to call people. And guys, if they say like, no, like I'm too busy, no worries. There's 7 billion people in this world. Go meet the next person. Go attend local meetups. Go to your real estate lenders, talk to them, like start making these connections that make a difference that will get you closer to your goal. If you are looking to connect with a little bit of better companies, ask them, do you guys have free resources for small entrepreneurs, your small business economic development? We are now getting into the boutique hotel space. So we are asking cities and towns, like, do you guys have any free resources for independent hoteliers? What can I do for your community? Like, how can I make this better? Can I pay people better? Is that something I could do? Yeah, probably, right? So how can I budget that in my reno? So things like that make a difference, and you've got to ask. All right, tip number 5. Always believe in yourself. My mentor likes to say, if your belief has to be so strong that you can turn an agnostic into believing in God. That's how much you've got to believe in yourself and your capacity. There's actually a really interesting story where Elon Musk got kicked out of this company, and a couple of years later it sold for $1 billion. And Elon Musk just kind of smiled and said, if I had stayed on, it would have sold for $1 trillion. That's the kind of self-belief and confidence you've got to lead with, and the universe will conspire to make life happen for you. You will walk into insane amount of opportunities, but you've got to believe in that for yourself. Tip number 6, if you want something, become obsessed with it. It really is just as easy as that. When I wanted to buy my first deal, I was on Zillow probably 2 to 3 hours a day. And most people would go, well, I don't have 2 to 3 hours a day. I was getting up at 7. I started getting up at 5. Like, I literally just slept less, and people are like, that's unhealthy and that's this, but that is what obsession is, you guys. You've got to find the time. I used to work in restaurants, so I didn't have the weekends off, but literally there's like a lull period in restaurants from like 2 to 5. I would literally be out there on my phone on Zillow looking at deals, and I had literally like napkins, and I would do the math on them. Like, if the mortgage is this much and I'm making this much on like the short-term, I do short-term rentals. So like, you know, if I'm getting $100 a night and this, like, here's how much my top line is, this good? And then my boyfriend, now husband, built me like this Excel sheet. And then I just would take my laptop to work, and behind in the kitchen, I literally had this little corner, and I would run numbers for my deals on this Excel spreadsheet to see if things were cash flowing, because you have to do the reps. And when the numbers cash flowed, I would pick up the phone, call the realtor, get information from them. And I got obsessed with this one area. I bought 3 rentals in one area because I knew the area so well, and I saw the opportunities to be able to grow in there. But I became literally obsessed. I didn't go to birthday parties. I started saying no to a lot more things in my life because I had to have the time to be able to sit there and like run through the deals, make the call, talk to the lenders. I had to bring in private money because I didn't have enough money to buy real estate when I started. But I literally got obsessed. All I did, my restaurant has deliveries, and I spent 4 hours doing deliveries 2 to 3 days a week, and going up and coming down, all I did was listen to podcasts, like real estate podcasts, Bigger Pockets. So one of the reasons I have podcasts now is I want to share all this information with you guys. But I became obsessed, and you get exhausted, right? Like, I was like, you know what, like today I don't feel like listening to a podcast. And I had to ask myself, like, do I not want to buy my first property? And you have to discipline yourself, become obsessed, be disciplined, and then you've got to take action. You've got to make the jump when that time comes. Tip number 7, when you hear no, dream bigger, you guys. Russians don't want to sell you a rocket? Build your own and launch them. Literally what Elon Musk talks about. I actually just did a Twitter post on this where I wanted to be a restaurant manager when I was in college, and they told me no. So when I graduated, like the year I graduated college, I opened my own restaurant. I was looking to work in real estate, and people were like, well, like, you don't have a license, you don't have this, you don't have that. So I just went out and bought my own. I was trying to get into the boutique hotel space for a while, couldn't figure it out. Got a couple of management contracts, said yes to all of them, and that led to me buying my first hotel with some partners. But you have got to start dreaming bigger. When people say no, that is the starting point of your action, not the end point. Tip number 8, you guys, you have got to question everything in your life, in your business. It doesn't matter who you are. The only laws to follow are the laws of physics. Literally something Elon Musk thinks about and talks about in this book, covers it really, really well. But if you want to buy something from a vendor, is it cheaper to maybe build it yourself? We've had this discussion on and off at our restaurants for a while now, where we go, is this cheaper to buy from a vendor, or can we put some labor hours and pay people and do it cheaper in-house? Maybe you find it's cheaper to outsource it, but maybe you find it's actually cheaper to do it yourself. And this is actually the story of how I opened my very first restaurant. Everybody was telling me it's really easy to buy an existing restaurant, and that's probably true, but I just did not have the money. So I went and sourced all of this equipment online, used PayPal credit at 0% interest to get the loan to get all of this equipment, paid it off within 6 months to a year. And that's how I grew my portfolio, you guys. It's exactly what I did with real estate. Is why do I have to do this? What can I start questioning things and then making decisions based on what you hear, and keep questioning is how can we make our systems better? What can we do? Tip number 9, already lost count, no one could tell. It seems to be a pattern of mine. It doesn't matter who you are, guys. Your personal brand makes a difference. Instead of being the guy that's consuming content on Twitter, start commenting on people, start connecting with people. If you're spending all of your time on TikTok, go ahead and make a TikTok video of yourself. Go ahead and share your story, put yourself out there. Humans connect with stories, which is why I'm making a big push for my personal brand this year, and I'm talking about what I do. I come from a home and a family and a culture where we don't share things. And because of that, people don't grow. People have got to hear your story. They've got to see your voice. I want to be a voice for women out there. I want to be a voice for brown people out there, because I frankly think there's not enough of us that are speaking up. And a lot of us have really cool stories to share. So start building your personal brand. It is the currency that will get you 10x more opportunities. Be humble always as you build your personal brand. Elon Musk literally responds to warm leads. He thought the idea was interesting enough, and it got him Tesla. That's how powerful it is. When people direct message me, I will try to have my executive assistant go in there and check stuff that seems interesting. I'll go ahead and respond to it. I unfortunately just don't have time to go through all of it, but I do make an active effort because it's important, and you never know who is going to approach you with your next business idea. And tip number 10, it doesn't matter how good you are at sales. You should be really good, but it doesn't matter how good you are, because salespeople will always need insanely good ops people. And that is exactly what my business is based on. You guys, I am not a salesperson by nature. It's tough for me to sell products and sell contracts and all that kind of stuff, but I'm very good at operations, and I'm very good at systemizing and looking at the overall picture and implementing ideas that go down. So that is all I focus on. When I talk to owners, I tell them I'm very good at operations, and if you are good at operations, you do not need someone like me to help you out. So you should work with a salesperson. But there are lots of people who are very, very good at sales, and they want to go out and be the front face and talk to customers and bring in all of this leads and money, but they don't know how to handle the back end, so the operations. And Elon Musk, for each of his companies, has excellent ops people, and they make the dream happen for him, and they help implement his vision. And that's why he has so many companies in so many different areas. If you guys enjoyed this, please be sure to hit that subscribe button and drop me a comment below about what book you want me to read next. And if you have read the Elon Musk book, please drop a comment below on what you thought. And be sure, or make sure, to watch my next video where I am going to do another book review. I'll have it up here. Enjoy.